Imagine standing at the peak of your ambition. You've won every battle. Your name echoes through the empire. Crowds cheer your name. And yet, in your moment of greatest triumph, someone whispers in your ear, remember, you will die. Not as an insult. Not as a threat. But as a truth. A necessary truth. How does that whisper change everything you thought you wanted? In ancient Rome, there was a practice so profound, so counterintuitive, that it shaped the character of their greatest leaders. When a general returned home victorious, riding through the streets in a grand procession, a slave would stand behind him in his chariot. And that slave had one job, to whisper, again and again, Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. It wasn't meant to diminish the victory. It was meant to preserve the victor's soul. The Romans understood something we've nearly forgotten, that meditating on mortality isn't morbid. It's liberating. It's the most practical wisdom a human being can hold. Picture Rome at the height of its power. Generals were gods to their people. They commanded legions. They shaped empires. And in that intoxicating moment of absolute power, the human heart becomes vulnerable to something far more dangerous than any enemy, the illusion of permanence. The Romans watched their greatest leaders fall not to swords, but to pride. To the belief that their glory would last forever. So they created a ritual, a whisper, a constant gentle reminder. Not to make men sad, but to make them wise. To keep them anchored to what actually matters. Because when you truly remember that your time is finite, you stop wasting it on things that don't matter. You stop chasing shadows. You stop hurting people for temporary power. You come home to yourself. Here's the first transformation. When you meditate on death, ambition doesn't disappear, it transforms. You still want to build, to create, to contribute. But you want to build things that outlast you. Things that matter. A Roman general who remembered his mortality didn't stop being ambitious. He became ambitious for legacy, for virtue, for the kind of impact that echoes beyond his own lifetime. In your own life, this means asking, am I chasing this promotion because it genuinely matters, or because I'm afraid of being forgotten? Am I building this business to serve, or to prove something to people who won't remember me in 100 years? The second insight is even more tender. When you accept that your time is limited, you become capable of genuine love. Not the grasping, desperate kind, but the kind that shows up fully. That listens completely. That doesn't postpone the conversation, the embrace, the apology. How many of us are waiting for the right time to tell someone they matter? Memento Mori burns away that waiting. It says, the time is now. Here's what you can do today. Tonight, before sleep, sit quietly for just 3 minutes. Not to feel sad, but to feel real. Ask yourself, if this were my last year, what would I stop doing immediately? What would I start? What conversation would I finally have? Don't answer with drama. Answer with honesty. Write down one thing. Just one. And tomorrow, begin. Not someday. Tomorrow. Because the whisper isn't meant to paralyze you. It's meant to wake you up. The Roman slave's whisper wasn't a curse. It was a gift. A daily permission to stop living as though you have forever. You don't. None of us do. And that's not tragic, that's what makes this moment sacred. That's what makes your breath, your choice, your love, infinitely precious. The generals of Rome understood this. And in remembering their own death, they learned how to truly live. That same whisper is available to you, right now, in this very moment. All you have to do is listen. Subscribe to LifeVeda for daily wisdom that transforms your life.